All right, we will get this party started. So, why am I here today? Well, first, got a new streaming platform that I'm trying out. So, this is the stream to verify that that's working well. And it does seem to be. And I figured we'll take a little bit of a departure from the gaming theme and take a look at something that I've been working on at work. To take that a little bit farther. So, what's the background? We have a number of events. Now that we're all forced to be virtual, we are shelter in place, I think is the term. Maybe that's the term that's too harsh, and there's another one we should be using, but we're stuck at home during the workday. Everything's virtual. We are now doing more and more virtual marketing events. And to drive awareness for those events, we have lists that we use to communicate with people. And so my first foray into this at my current company, I found myself doing a lot of manual things with these lists and the email templates that we used and all these things. And me being a huge proponent of automation, after that initial round was over, obviously I want to look for a better way to handle this kind of thing moving forward. So I have written both an Apple script and a PowerShell routine to handle this for Mac and Windows using the Microsoft Office suite of applications. Now, it turns out I wrote both of those solutions while using my Macintosh, which got me most of the way where I need to be for the Windows platform. What we're going to do today is go ahead and flesh out the PowerShell for Windows script so that it actually drives Outlook instead of the strictly the debug output that it does right now. Now, what do I mean by that? So if you look at what we have on the screen, I'm going to get myself out of the way here. Bear with me one moment. All right. You look at what we have on screen. I've got some PowerShell, as I've already articulated. Now, as you look at this, you see here at the top, I've got a file that I'm dealing with statically here. Got some variables that I'm setting. But as we scroll through this, what you'll notice is I've got a number of things remarked out. And that is because I wasn't running this on Microsoft Windows, and I knew that those things wouldn't necessarily work. In their place, however, I've got some debug code that outputs to the console and lets me know what action I would actually perform once we're running on Windows. So I think what I'll do first is I'll go ahead and run this as it is. Oh, my keyboard is not behaving here. Oh, no. Uh-oh. This is not going to go so well. Let me disconnect. Connect. Don't really want to type that in full view, so let me get that out of the way for a moment. you didn't transition, idiot. Okay, that's working better. All right, that is working better. So let's go ahead and run this as it is, and you'll notice that we go through the CSV input and we perform a number of actions. So we start out, we create a message, we add this recipient, we are sending a message to the company one, and if there are any additional recipients for this same company, we go ahead and add them to the existing message. As we move through the list, as the company name changes, then we go ahead and create a new message for the remaining companies, add the corresponding recipients in the to field, rinse, repeat, etc., etc. I think you get the idea of what we're doing here. But as I said, we're not actually doing anything right now. We're simply writing debug output to the screen. So I'm interested in changing that. So first off, let me go ahead and I have a function that I would like to incorporate here. I have a text file that represents that function. It's going to allow us to pick a file name as the script is running. You'll see why that's important in a little while. We'll go ahead and paste that in. And I want to take where I set these variables, I'm going to call that function instead. So let's see. So we're going to call the get file name function. It's going to prompt for a directory. This first prompt, we expect that the user of the tool will pick the CSV file containing the invitees' names. So that's step one. In the second call, we will expect that they will pick a template to be used. For the email message that we're going to send to these invitees. So that's cool. Once we have the file name, we'll go ahead and import that CSV. And then we will start our loop, set a temporary company name. Here we check to see if the company name matches. Uh-oh, what happened to my camera? It's all right, we'll go without the camera. check to see whether the company name matches. If it does not, if it does match, then if it does not match, we go ahead and create a new email message, set the recipient, subject, body, and we loop through the CSV file until that's complete. Now that I'm on Windows, I want to remark these things out. Okay, I don't want to write the test message into the body, so I'm going to leave that commented out. Then we'll go ahead and save that. And here as well, we do want to add the contact email. And we'll leave the debug output in place. So now our function prompts for two fields, the starting directory and the filter type. I'm forgetting filter type in my call to get file name. So in this first example, we are going to be looking for right, and so that's going to be our file specification, our filter, as it turns out, for the first file dialog that pops up. In the second call, I'm going to look for email templates on Windows. And that's the OFT file format. Okay. Save that. So that looks good. Okay, so let's see. What do you say we take a run at this? I think I have my drafts folder here. I'm going to go ahead and empty this out. And then I am going to just say we go ahead and run this. My open dialog is hiding behind a window here. And I'm not seeing my files. That's interesting. CSV. Why am I not seeing my files? What's wrong with my filter specification? Oh, I am missing. Try that again. Still no. All CSV files. Definitely there. right, let me take a closer look at another version of this. See what we missed here. Oh, no parens. Parens. That looks better. So we'll take our sample companies, get our template, and we're getting an error here. Down from file template. File template. Right, we get our file name. All right, I will have to figure out what I'm doing wrong in the memory attempt here. What I'll do is open another folder. I did this a little earlier. And we will execute that. Go ahead and select our file, select our template. Right, and so that does run appropriately. If we move over to Outlook, we see that our drafts folder is being populated with those draft email messages. Right, so that is working appropriately. So I will, once I break the video here, I'll go back and take a look at what I'm missing in my attempt to ingrain this in my memory. But yeah, pretty sweet. This is not a whole lot of script to get something done that will end up saving me and my team an incredible amount of time. Let me take a look at Twitch here. All right, so what did happen to my camera? That's not cool. All right, I'm gonna shut this one down. Go ahead and break away from the productivity for a bit. I will be back a little bit later, and I'm going to stream some entertainment by way of gaming. I don't know whether that's going to be Grid. It'll probably be Grid, or if I want to take a look at Doom Eternal. But either way, I will be back later this evening.